All right, Algebra 2, 3-6, multiplying with matrices. Okay, multiplying with matrices. This gets a little bit more complicated than just regular adding and subtracting. It's not a whole lot more difficult, it's just that it's new and it might seem weird at first, but once you kind of get used to it and do it a couple times, you'll get over it and it'll be pretty good. It won't be too tough for you. So multiplying matrices. Dimensions of a matrix are given as rows by columns. We kind of talked about that before. So this one's 2 rows by 3 vertical columns. So it's a 2 by 3. Okay. To multiply matrices, the columns of the first matrix must be equal to the rows of the second matrix. Okay? So, just a really easy thing to think about. If you want to be able to multiply the matrices, the middle 2 numbers have to match. So I'm doing a 2 by 3 times a 3 by 2. The middle numbers match. Okay? 2 by 3 times a 2 by 3. Same size, right? Adding and subtracting, they always had to be the same size. So 2 by 3, 2 by 3. We're thinking it's going to work. A 3 and a 2 don't match in the middle. That's not going to work. We can't do multiplication. I could add and subtract those two. Can't do any multiplication with them. Okay? The outside numbers will tell you the dimensions or the shape of your answer matrix. So back to our 2 by 3 times a 3 by 2, the middle numbers match, so yes, we can multiply it. And the outside numbers are 2 by 2, so that tells me that we're going to be able to multiply them together, and we should come out with a 2 by 2. Okay, so let's take a look at these. Then you tell me if we can multiply these together, yes or no, and what the answer size should be. All right, go ahead and push pause and see if you can fill those 4 in. Okay, welcome back. So our first one, they match in the middle, so yes we can, and our outsides tell us that our answer should be a 5 by 3. All right, no, they don't match, so that one's a no. 2 by 4, 4 by 3. They match in the middle. The outsides tell me we're going to be a 2 by 3. Okay. Over here, the middle 2 match, so yes. And the outsides are a 3 by 3. Okay. So that's just laying the groundwork for being able to tell if we can multiply these matrices together or not. Okay, let's take a look. Let's get into it. So here's a pretty easy one. 2 by 2, 2 by 2. Okay, so we could add and subtract these, and we can multiply these. The square ones are always nice. The square ones are always nice. Okay. So again, 2 by 2 times a 2 by 2. The middle numbers match. The outside numbers tell me what shape it's going to be. So this is still going to come out to be a 2 by 2. All right, so this is the weird part, okay? When we're multiplying matrices, we do an entire row times an entire column and put the answer in that spot. So we're going to do the first row times the first column of the other one, and that's the top row left column, and that's going to go in the top left answer spot. Okay, that's why the row numbers have to match the column numbers so that we get the same stuff there. Okay, so our first thing, top row times left column, and this is going to go in the top left spot. So the top row times the left column. Okay, so we got 1 times 3, and then 2 times negative 2. Okay, 1 times 3, 2 times negative 2, that's 3, and a negative 4, and that's going to add to be negative 1. All right. The next step, we do the top row still, now with the right column. Top row, this time times the right column. So the first number is 1 times the first number, 1 times 1. And then the second number just happens to work out that the first numbers are 1s and the second numbers are 2s. 2 times 2. So 1 plus 4 is 5 in the top right spot. Okay, top row times the right column, answer goes in the top right corner. 1 times 1. 2 times 2, 1 plus 4 is 5. Okay, so we've got the top row taken care of. Now we're going to move on down to the bottom row. Bottom row times left column, going to go in the bottom left spot. So we got 3 times 3 and 4 times negative 2. 3 times 3, 4 times negative 2. So that's 9 and a negative 8. 1 goes in the bottom left spot. Okay, we only got one thing left to do. Bottom right corner, so that's the bottom row times the right column. Okay, 3 times 1, and then 4 times 2. 3 times 1 and 4 times 2. So 3 plus 8 is 11. Okay, so you see it's not all that tough. There's not really a whole lot of complicated math to do. It's just getting used to this. Row times column. Row times column. So top row, left column. Top row, right column. Bottom row, left column. Bottom row, right column. All right, we multiply first times first, second times second. That's why the size of your rows and the size of your columns have to be the same for multiplication. All right, let's see. Let's see if you can do it. Okay. Let's see. We'll make a work blank here for you. And then an answer one. And the more you do these, you might get to where you can just jump right to the final answer one and not need the work one in the middle. Okay, remember, rows times columns. All right, push pause and see what you got. Okay, here we go. Rows times columns. So top row times left column. 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 1 times 5 is negative 5. 6 plus negative 5 is 1. Then we do this row times this column. 3 times 5 is 15. Negative 1 times negative 1 is a negative 1 for a total of 14. Bottom row, first column. 2 times 2 is 4. Negative 2 times 5 is negative 10. 4 and a negative 10 is negative 6. Bottom row times the last column. 2 times 5 is 10. 1 times negative 2 is 8. Okay. Any questions with that? Take a look at that. Again, we did rows times columns. 3 times 2, negative 1 times 5. Row times column. 3 times 5, negative 1 times 1. Row, column, 2 times 2, negative 2 times 5. Row, column, 2 times 5, negative 2 times 1. All right, let's see. Let's look at this one. This looks a little weird, huh? 2 rows, 1 column. That's a 2 by 1. 1 row, 2 columns. It's a 1 by 2. They match, 1 in the middle, and my answer should be a 2 by 2. That's crazy. Okay, so top row times first column, 4 times -3, -12. Top row, was that supposed to be a, was that negative before I wrote that? I think it was negative. -4, -3, +12. My pen mark there covered it up. So that's actually a -4. -4 times 1, -4. 7 times -3, -21. 7 times 1, 7. All right, we'll give you a chance to do one of these funny ones. Okay, should be the same deal. 2 rows, 1 column. 1 row, 2 columns. Let's see what you got. Okay, 2 times -1 is -2. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times -1, we got -5. 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, what do we have with this one? 3 rows, 1 column, so we have 3 by 1. 2 rows by 3 columns, 2 by 3. The middle numbers don't match, not possible. Okay, 2 rows, 3 columns, so 2 by 3, times 3 rows, 1 column. Okay, so they match, and the outside numbers tell me my answer should be a 2 row by 1 column. Let's see what we got. And we might need a work one. Okay. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 3 is 15. So 1 plus 6 plus 15, 22. Okay, second row, first column or only column. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 6 times 3 is 18. And that one should be 28. All right. There's our homework. Page 183, 15 to 31. Okay, just some things to think about here with multiplying matrices. Okay. So because it matters, like going left to right. Because if it's a 2 by 3 times a 3 by 1, and this way works, right? Because the middle numbers match. If I would flip these around, 3 by 1 first times a 2 by 3, then all of a sudden we can't do it. So the order matters. As long as we keep the order in the same, A times B times C, the grouping doesn't matter. Okay. K times matrix A times matrix B doesn't matter. We can do the K to either one first and then multiply it, or we could just do the multiplication times that. Okay. Left distributive. So if we have matrix C times matrix A plus matrix B, I can do CA plus CB. Right? I can do if the times is on this side, we can do the C to both parts on the left side, or the C is on the right, we can do the right to, or C on the right hand of both multiplications. So just some weird things to think about because order matters with matrix multiplication. Okay. Thanks for watching. Give that your best shot. Let me know if you have any questions.